All right, on the play. Round 2 versus Prowins. Never seen them. This hand, I actually think this is a keep. So, like I said, one of the cool parts about this deck is you don't actually have to find a Bazaar. This hand is a turn to Hogaak, right? So this is going to be, this is turn 1 Hogaak. 3 cards in the graveyard, 4 cards in the graveyard, 5, 6. Yeah, this is actually a turn 1 Hogaak. I think you can just actually keep this deck. Sorry, not the deck. Keep this hand. I'm going to try to keep this hand. See what happens. You're 4-0 with humans, man. So let's see what this finds. So this didn't find a Bazaar. So what's our next best play? Taking another Stitcher supplier is going to make like replaying Hogaak easier if they Force of Will my Hogaak. So I think that makes the most sense. If they're all like end up being on like PO, obviously we will wish we took the oof. There's like some value in taking the Wasteland as well. I'm just like a little worried that my Hogaak will get forced and I won't have enough action. So I think like taking a Stitcher supplier, that way it'll be easy to recast Hogaak is probably what I want to do. So what I'm going to do, I wish this was a Jet, because then I could do Jet supplier first, and then if I hit any Blood Gas, I could return them with Catacombs, but I did not hit that, so see if we, I guess we have Misstep beat. Nice. So this is going to bin 3 cards, and then we're going to play Emerald Rootwalla, and then we're going to cast Hogaak. Which I think is pretty sweet. This gets forced, obviously we're left with not very much, but if it doesn't get forced, we just put 10 power into play on turn 1. So, and that's like a really good example of why I think this deck is super cool, in that it's a Bazaar deck, and I didn't keep a hand with Bazaar, which is so cool. Yes! Who needs Bazaar? Who needs Bazaar when we can just cast Hogaaks? So we don't know what our opponent is on here. Our opponent is Prowins. We were on the play. I don't think I've ever seen this player before. I'm not sure what they would be on. Gonna do a quick gatherer search. They played Penny Dreadful last month. They played a bunch of different things. So I have no idea. You think they're on Delver? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna board out Oof, board in Vigor, and board in Surgical. This is kind of what I do when I'm not 100% sure. Vigor is still like going to hit a lot of your hate, so I like to keep the Vigors in unless I know they're not going to be on anything that I can hit. And then Surgical just does some disruption, stops Sanctuary loops. You can take away their best interactive piece, like a Swords to Plowshares. Another interesting thing with Surgical is that you can, if they are bringing in Surgical versus you and they Surgical one of your Avenge Vines, you can fizzle the spell with your own Surgical. I don't like bringing in Silence against Xerox. Like maybe these Surgicals, because we don't know what the opponent is on, should be just the Assassin's Trophies. That could be logical, actually. I'm down to believe that. I'm only really bringing in Chalice on the play versus Heavy Moxen. Versus PO on both the play and the draw, and then versus like Shops and Heavy Moxen deck on the play. Yo, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. I'm gonna keep it like this, I think. Try that. I think that boarding in 1 Vigor, boarding out Oofs, and boarding in Assassin's Trophy is a pretty solid board plan in the blind, so I'm not opposed to the way we have it boarded. It would make sense if they were on like a Blue-Red Dragon or Delver deck that they would concede to a resolved Hogaak. They probably don't have any answers to that. So this hand is just not strong enough, so we're gonna put it back. This hand is great. We're gonna get rid of So if I get rid of the Bayou, it allows me to cast Once Upon a Time and still be able to Vigor on turn 1 on like a ley line or a cage. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. This is obviously a kind of an all-in hand. It's gonna be pretty weak to Tabernacle, but I think that's okay. This also lets me like Vigor a Pithing Needle on turn 1, so pretty happy. Yo, Art, what's up, man? Your deck is super cool. I posted it without your name on Twitter, the picture of you turn 1ing me. It's super cool deck. Very brutal. A very lethal amount of damage. So Flooded Strand go. So we don't have to cast this Once Upon a Time now. They should have boarded out Negation so I can go to my turn and get more information with the draw. I want to cast it before Bazaar in case I draw another HogaakVine. Oh, this is great. If they're gonna like counter this, I'm okay with that. Is this gonna be Spell Pierce or is it gonna be Fluster? People have been keeping. Oh, it's Daze. That's really good for us. Okay, I'm definitely down to get that Dazed. So they still have 1 blue mana floating. Can I be punished by activating Bazaar now? Not really. There's still like a possibility I get this HogaakVine into play before combat, so. And that possibility is over. So what I'm gonna do is pitch HogaakVine, Jet, Wasteland. And maybe not. Maybe what I want to do, they're blue-red Delver, they can have Dak Faden. Maybe I just want to get rid of all my green cards. That way I can play a Jet to play around Tabernacle. And then still have a Bazaar backup for a Wasteland and have a Wasteland if they're looking for red sources. I could see that being wrong, but I think that's the way I'm going to go. Now I'm going to move to second main to get rid of this blue. They're going to Thought Scour. So they're the Islet, the Tuesday is Noob deck with the Delve card. And they are red for Bolt. Okay. Thing. I guess I don't need to move to second main now, but don't need to play around Daze, but I'll just backlick them. I guess this runs into Mindbreak Trap if for some reason they would have a Mindbreak Trap in their deck. They shouldn't have a Mindbreak Trap in their deck, but oh, I got Negation. Wow, they kept Negation in their deck. If I were them, I would have negated the Once Upon a Time and held the Daze. Really odd sequencing for my opponent. So we got rid of their Force of Will and their Daze and their Negation. So this should just resolve, I would assume. Cool. I mean, that went really well for us. They did fuel their Delve pretty hard, though, so. So another fetch land. So they didn't even play. So weird. So they didn't play their island that they dazed. So does that mean they have Shattering Spree? So confused. Oh, it's so they could Treasure Cruise. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So they played a fetch so that they could cruise. They're back up to 6 cards. With the bound side of what they just did is that we now have the ability to wasteland them off that. Interesting. So if I draw and keep both of these, I would just discard 3. But I could hit Brute Wallas. I'm down. Now that worked out pretty well. So I think what I'm gonna do is just go for the permission for now. No, that's okay. If they tab this turn, I'm okay. No, I actually think that I would rather cut them off of the blue source than hold the wasteland for tab here. Tab is less punishing for me than Dak Faded, and that's the big reason. Winged. Ooh, maybe I should have held a waste. That's unfortunate. So they drew a wasteland off of their cruise. Well, now we have to hold the strip mine for tab, so it's fine. We have a 3-turn clock. Just has another wasteland. Okay. No. Like the bigger problem is Dak for sure. I don't believe that you would want to hold the wasteland for tab there. We're talking about Tabernacle of the Pendrel Veil, which is the big anti-hate card now. Alright, looks like they probably had Tabernacle then. If they're gonna concede to Bayou Deathrite here. Obviously we tap deck like a madman to hit like land Deathrite. We tap deck very, very well. Do I have a blue-red? I'm just gonna call it blue-red dragon. It's essentially the same deck. Ever. Alright, another one. Another one. So if they had Tabernacle, they would have played it the turn that they wastelanded the Bazaar, right? Unless they were super scared of the triple Vengevine. I don't know. What do they want to do? This is weird. I've been like just jamming leagues while like chilling and listening to K-pop, and now I don't have my K-pop because I'm gonna get DMCA'd.